We respectfully request the Sangha great virtues for the sake of this assembly and all living beings. Please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung thính đại đức tặng thính, vì thứ pháp hội cập nhật thiết chúng sanh, thịnh chuyên diệu pháp luân giao đạo ngã mùng, như há liêu sanh thoát tư ly khổ đạc lạc, tước chứng vô sanh. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Nam mô Sa Đan Thổ Sư Chế Đô Ye Ở La Hờ Đi San Miao San Pu Tô Xie. Nam mô Tát Đạc Thà Tô Già Đa Già A La Ha Đề Tam Miệu Tam Bồ Đà Tòa. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I am able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual principles. Wu shang sheng sheng wei biao fa bai jian wan jie nan zao yu. 我今见闻得受持，愿解如来真实义。O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Great Master Ching Liang, Great Master YongHua, all good monks and nuns, and all good known advisors of Emitofuo. 诸佛菩萨、精良大师、师父上人、各位智者人、各位善知识、弥陀佛。Chư Phật Bồ Tát, kính thưa Thanh Lương Đại sư Hữu Thượng Thiên Hoa, quý thầy cô và quý vị thiện sĩ Thích Ca Di Đà Phật. Hello everyone, today is the 1st of November 2024. We're here at Wei Mountain Temple to continue discussing the prologue to the Avatamsaka Sutra. Thank you for joining us. We are on slide 1042. Just a minute. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, this is door number 2. We're towards the end of the information we have, and it's talking about the store and the teachings contained in the store. So it's long stuff and it's a lot of information. So we try to go through as much as possible. All right, text that's... text says, there is more than one such passage of sutra text and Shastra which makes it clear that there is absolutely no such thing as eternal stillness for sound hearers.
如是经论，其文非一，永即生闻，必无明矣。
1043. It's very interesting here. It's very assuring, actually. I didn't know until I didn't have really, this is official confirmation of what I've been talking about. He says that in many sutra texts, such as Lankavatara Sutra, Dharma Flower Shastra, and Shastras, the various sutras here, where they actually brought out, the Buddha actually stated, he said that there's absolutely no nirvana for sound hearers. So in one area of the Agama teaching, he said, you should enter nirvana. Okay, nirvana is a fantastic place where you find the 4 characteristics of nirvana, which we normally don't have. What are those 4? Anyone remembers? These are fundamental questions, fundamental knowledge we should all have and should memorize. It's part of your wisdom. Yes, in the back, what are the 4 characteristics of nirvana that we should strive for, that we are entitled to experience?
Master, in Chinese text, they say 常乐我净 is constant, is true self, bliss, and purity.
Okay, so it talks about the 4 virtues of nirvanas are, number 1, always or eternal love, eternal bliss. You're always in bliss. Never experience any suffering. Bliss as compared to suffering. If you have suffering, then you have the antidote for all sorts of suffering is the bliss that you will acquire through cultivation, through developing the skills, and you have the knowledge and develop the skills to be able to secure this bliss for yourself. When ordinary people cannot, you can experience this bliss, okay? And when you enter this nirvana, the nirvanas, and you're constantly in bliss. Number 2, true self, as opposed to the false self. The ego that you have, that ordinary people have, it's called ego. It's a self, and that's a false self. The false self, as described by the Buddha, is composed of 5 components. The 5 skandhas is not the word. This we can discuss it somewhere else, but these are fundamental knowledge that is Buddhist wisdom that you should memorize. But the 5 skandhas are the 5 components of the self, the false self you have, and by cultivating the Buddha Dharma, you'll be able to transcend these 5 skandhas and attain your true self. Okay? And number 3, Jing, purity. You are pure. You will not be contaminated by the impurities of the world, the ickiness of the world. Okay, regardless of the environment, you are pure. Okay, and no one can contaminate you. And finally, what's that? Permanence. Okay, so that state there is permanent. You can experience this forever. Okay, so those are the nirvana that the Buddha talked about in contrast to life here in the Saha world. It's just the exact opposite of nirvana. This is why the Hinayana people, the practitioners, the sound hearers, the arhats, and pratyeka Buddhas, once they develop the skills to experience it, they become attached to such a superior state of being. And that's why they said, I don't want to get out. You know, what is it like? It's very similar to when you come to Wei Mountain Temple for Chanqi or Foqi, and you stay here, and we take care of everything, we take care of your accommodation, your food, so you don't ever have to step out. And preferably you should not, even as coming up, that's why I'm doing a little bit of advertising, if you don't mind. You should even try to minimize your trying to get out, reach out, back to your home, back to your office, whatever, okay? Worldly things, try to shut them out. If you do that, the more you do that, the more you experience this bliss, this peace and bliss at the temple that you will not find anywhere else, I assure you. Okay, this is what we work very hard to provide for you. Okay, we could do it like the other places, $40 or $60 for lodgings and food. Okay, but then it's not a pure arrangement. Okay, and now we cannot be carefree because now you have to calculate whether we're making money or not, or how much money we're losing. Okay, we might have to raise the price again next year. Okay. Can you imagine? I just sent my people to get some baguettes. Just the last time, remember 5 years ago, baguette is about $1.50. Now it's like $3 or more. This is incredible. And see, the cost keeps on increasing, and we don't care. We haven't raised our price for blacks. Wait a minute, let's talk about that, Xianshun. For over 10 years now? Yeah, so anyway, so you experience that, so that's why I'm trying to give you the analogy. Because when you come to the temple, you practice like this, and you kind of shut down your regular life for a while you're here. And when you get out, like for example, you need to go get some burgers at night because you have a craving for it. Anyone? Fries, burgers? Okay, yeah. Real grease, not, and lard, not vegetable oil. Yeah. Disgusting vegetable oil. Okay. Anyway, and you go out because you have the urge to go experience something, okay, eat something and live for a change, okay. And so when you go out, okay, you realize that there's so much noise out there. You don't like it. You want to get back in. This is exactly what happened to the arhats. People told me this very often. Many people come here and they say they come out for whatever reason, go buy flowers to the temple, go get bread for the temple or something, and they don't like it. Okay, it's the same exact thing for the sound hearers. They enter nirvana, okay, and then whatever the reason arose, so that they exited, and they said, I don't like this. Okay, so that's exactly what it is. That's what they call it, eternal stillness. Where am I? What did I do now? It's 10:24. Sorry about that. How did I jump to anyway? Okay. And so that's why you cannot blame these people, and actually it's very big problem when these sound hearers, the arhats and practical Buddhas enter this nirvana, hinayana nirvana, they're in suspension. So they can never become a Buddha. Okay, and that's a lot more dangerous than not entering nirvana. And now we're finding out actually it's just a concept, but actually the two vehicles cannot enter this eternal extinction. That's what the Buddha says. We will not allow them to. I used to open my big mouth and we won't allow them. Actually, the Buddha says there's no such a thing for them. And basically, we won't allow them. Because it's not good for them. Because the Buddha taught them about this place, and the last thing the Buddha would allow to happen is for them to become attached to it and get in trouble. Okay? So whatever they attach to, the Hinayana people are attached to, it's only temporary. No problems. Okay? We'll continue to help them accrue things, accrue blessings, so that they can transcend it. Yes, in the back.
Master, we are on slide 1043.
1033? 43?
43.
Oh, thank you very much. Really? Oh, yeah. 43. Thank you. All right. Yes, K YouTube question.
앞전에 있었던 본문에서 남겨주신 질문입니다. 마스터, 방금 지와 관, 사마디와 위파사나는 지관 쌍수를 말씀하신다고 생각합니다. 일행삼매가 실천되게 알려주시는 것인지요?
Master, this question is from the previous lecture.
Yes.
So, Master mentioned the samatha and vipassana. I think that's a dual practice of samatha and vipassana. So if I practice them, can I enter the one mark samadhi and one action samadhi?
I heard up until previous lecture. The rest is kind of blurry to me. I know, my hearing is not getting any better. But could you do it again, please?
So I think samatha and vipassana is a dual practice.
What?
And dual.
Stop. What?
Dual practice.
Dual practice.
Okay, dual practice. All right, continue.
So if I practice them, can I enter one mark samadhi and one action samadhi?
What?
If I practice them, can I enter one mark samadhi and one action samadhi?
One action samadhi?
I believe that's what she said.
The last lecture we talked about it. Which lecture are we talking about?
The Chan Asian Chan talk.
Oh, chanting. Okay. Those are the various, in Buddhism, there are millions of samadhis, and depending on which Dharma door you use, or depending on your purposes, you can enter the various types of samadhis. Okay. So exactly what the real mark samadhi is, it is beyond you. If you ask, that means I can't explain to you. Okay, the real mark samadhi is something that enlightened people are able to do. 1G and above are able to do or develop eventually. Okay, and what's the other samadhi?
One action samadhi.
What?
One action samadhi.
One action samadhi, what's the Chinese name for it? I'm cautious because the English translation sometimes, especially Master YongHua, they take a lot of liberties. And the Chinese is much more precise. Yi Xing, San Mei, right? So Yi Xing, San Mei is, I don't know, there you go. The bottom line is that, yes, what's Yi Xing, San Mei? You can look it up in the dictionary. Yes. 5.
dictionary says a single mind samadhi, one-pointed mind.
Oh, so easing samadhi, okay. So what it's referring to is you can enter this samadhi with one thought. In that samadhi, you have one thought. So actually, it's a form of more shallow samadhi than the others. Okay, so as I said, so even if you said about easing samadhi there, one action samadhi. So that samadhi there has countless types of variations. Okay, and so it is if you will, to me it sounds like the kind of samadhi in movement. Sing is movement, is action, karmas. Okay, and so that's why it tells you there that you can be in movement and you're still in samadhi. Okay, those are names. Yes, 5.
I'm sorry, I'd like to clarify again. I look for another place. It says that ilheng samme, ishang samme, is a samadhi of specific mode or action, a state of samadhi in which the mind reaches an undivided state, or concentration of the mind, like that of the mother hen hatching her eggs, or sitting quietly without letting any idea arise in the mind, being anchored in calm and quiet.
Yeah, that's how you arrive into this samadhi. Yes. Okay, but it describes that process there, where you're able to. What you describe there is how they get there. Yes, go first.
Sir, I would like to add that in the 6th Patriarch Sutra, there is a discussion about this. So it says, 若于一切处行住坐卧纯一直心，不动道场，直成净土，此名一行三昧. So talks about if at any place, sitting, walking, sleeping, with one straight mind. Yeah, I won't translate the whole thing.
Yeah, it's one conduct. Sing here is conduct. Okay, so it is a generic term where you see even the 6th Patriarch says whether you're sitting, whether it's walking, whether you're standing. So it's whatever conduct you're doing, okay, easing. Okay, whatever that conduct you're doing, you're still able to enter samadhi. You can do it while under samadhi. So that's why I explained to you that that's how they are trained to do that. But in practice, you can do it while you are in movement, or you're sitting. Sitting is one sing, easing as well. Sitting is also one conduct as well. Okay, so in summary, for these two types of samadhis, you're not quite at the level where you'll be able to distinguish it and be able to enter it. Okay, it refers to a general state of mind where you're able to be in samadhi, whatever you're doing. Okay, and that refers to the conduct of the bodhisattvas. Okay, so the short answer is, you don't worry about it. Eventually, you'll get into it. Okay, it's not about knowing the names and knowing what they do. It's about developing it. Okay, so eventually you'll be able to enter it. This is why we talk about it. If you can't enter it, then we tell you, then you won't be able to enter it. But for this type of samadhi, you'll be eventually be able to develop the ability to enter it. That's part of the training that you are undergoing. Okay? And that's how I used to feel too. I read a lot of stuff. I read also not only these things, but also a long time ago, also the Shranga Mantra, Supreme Samadhi, whatever. Okay, and because it's very powerful, I also had I was greedy to enter it because it's the most powerful samadhi of all the practices. Okay, and if your practice is based on greed, then your practice has problems. You will not be able to enter it. So my point being that when a need arises for you to develop this Shrangama Samadhi, of course, there's a way to do it. If the need for you to enter this Dharani, one single revolution of Dharani you talked that the lotus flower talked about, you'll be able to do it. It's all natural. The basis of it is that you need to develop the foundation, the training that we give you to the Wei Yang Chan lineage. Okay? So don't worry about the names. It's good to know about the names. But don't be greedy for it. You naturally will develop the ability to attain these samadhis. All right? Thank you for the question. Yes, JC?
법문 감사합니다. 크게 저 이제 예전에 취재했던 현대불교 신문의 김민재라고 합니다. 다른 게 아니고 이제 질문이 한 3가지 정도 있는데요. 그 질문 첫 번째는 왜 오래 앉아야 하는지 잘 모르겠습니다. 해능 스님도 유마일 거사도 마조 스님도 이제 좌선이 반드시 깨달음과 연결되지 않는다고 말한 것으로 알고 있습니다. 두 번째 질문은 선은 이제 내면의 불성을 밝히는 것이고 정토는 외부의 부처님 세계로 나아가는 것으로 알고 있습니다. 옛날부터 이 두 개를 동시에 어떻게 닦아야 될지 항상 궁금했습니다. 이에 대해서 답해 주시면 감사하겠고, 또 세 번째는 깨달은 분들은 현재 어디에 계신지 궁금합니다. 깨달으면 육도에 벗어난다고 알고 있기 때문입니다. 자비로운 선지식의 가르침을 청해봅니다. 감사합니다.
Hello, Master. This is Kim Min-jae. I'm the reporter of the Modern Buddhist newspaper. And I have 3 questions. The first question, why do I need to sit long? The sixth patriarch said the sitting does not lead to enlightenment. Why? I don't know why we need to sit long.
Okay. And the other 2 questions?
The second question, the Chan is to brighten our Buddha nature inside us. And then Pure Land is to seek the Buddha land outside. I don't know how we practice these things at the same time.
Practice these things what?
I don't know how to cultivate these things at the same time.
Okay. Number 3?
Number 3, where is the enlightened being? I think they are out of 6 realms.
What? Where are what?
Where is the enlightened people?
Where are they?
Yeah, where are they?
Oh, okay. Very good. Enlightened people are around you. Look around you, look at the screen. You will see enlightened people, but you cannot recognize them. Okay? Because enlightened people, when they're enlightened, they're not supposed to tell you they're enlightened. But in our environment, we have a lot of enlightened beings who because they work very hard. They work so hard. That's why, in spite of the fact that the Buddha says it's a Dharma ending age where people cultivate, they will be hard pressed to get to 4th-stage Arhat, let alone become enlightened. Okay, big enlightenment. In our Wei-Yang Dharma that Master Hsuan transmitted to us, we practice it differently than the way he transmitted his Wei-Yang Dharma to his disciples over there. Our Dharma is quite different. Okay, maybe the same foundation, but actually very, very different. Different in that we are doing more of certain teaching than what they do over there. They do more gradual, primarily 90% gradual, 10% sudden. That's why it's very hard for them to detect it, whereas for us, it's all sudden. Okay, and so this because of this type of training, that's how there are a lot of enlightened people that you are able to see physically, as well as a lot of enlightened people who are invisible, if you believe in invisible beings. Okay, they're here to practice with us as well, to protect us and practice with us as well. The majority of them are to practice with us. All right? And so this brings me to the answer to the question number 1. Why do you have to cross your legs and then sit longer? Because that's part of the training. That's why, because of that training, that enables a lot of them to become enlightened a lot sooner than otherwise. For example, for example, never mind about your country, Korea, in my area, United States, my master, after he died, okay, my generation, they don't dare teach people to sit in full lotus and sit longer anymore, because people here, they whine, they complain. Okay, when it's too difficult, they whine, and they don't like it, and they're self-indulgent. This is the American culture, and therefore, if you're self-indulgent, you are a victim to your capriciousness. Whereas part of the training is to learn to help you rise above your selfishness, rise above your ego. And case in point, when you are taught to sit longer and it hurts, your ego says, I don't like it. And you whine like orange face. That's what he does. You watch him, he whines. Okay, this is what a lot of people, ordinary people, they don't realize it. When it's too difficult, it's not the way they want, they whine and they complain and they quit. And so if you quit, good luck to you. Live your life. There's nothing wrong with that. Live your own life. Live the life the way you want to. But if you want to be free from your ego, you want to receive training on how to free yourself from your ego and your suffering, then those are the instructions designed to do that. So for example, because my generation, the monks and nuns don't dare teach people how to sit in full lotus anymore, because people whine and they quit. They'll not come back. They go to another temple where they're treated more nicely, where they can do as they please. Okay? Whereas over here at our temple, since day one, I taught people, because we're small and we don't have a lot of resources, I said, it's only for the people who are serious about getting training. And so the difference is that because of that, our people are very advanced because they undergo a lot more rigorous training program than otherwise. Okay? You'll be hard-pressed to find a temple where I advocate personally, my direct disciples, they all sit in full lotus. Okay? And unless they have some physical limitations, we give them expedients to help them overcome the physical limitations. But the purpose of sitting longer is for you to see how your ego keeps on whining. When it's too uncomfortable, it whines, I don't like this, it hurts too much, can I quit? And then an hour later, it whines again. Another hour, it whines again. It's non-stop. The longer you sit, the more quiet your ego becomes. The more you can endure. So the results are obvious. Okay? When people try to sit longer, naturally one thing you observe in those people is that they become more patient. They're more patient. They can endure their own suffering, and therefore they can endure the hardships of life much better. And therefore, they naturally become more patient. And those who, therefore, never mind about enlightenment, the immediate benefits of the training of sitting longer is it increases your patience. And there's many, many more benefits, such as you sit longer, your health will improve. Okay? That's the wonders of these practices. It's just many of these things, and we don't talk about them that much because it sounds like a commercial, and if the more I talk about it, then people don't believe it, because if it's so good to be true in America, if it's that good, then we should be making money off it. There's no wisdom in not making money. I'm still trying to figure that one out. People don't realize it takes a lot of wisdom to make money off these things, which I don't have. Okay, question number 2. I forgot question number 2. Sangwuk Sunim, what's question number 2?
Chan is the brighten our Buddha nature inside us. And then Pure Land is to seek the Buddha land outside. How can I cultivate both things?
You can cultivate both because we tell you to. Because it's good for you. Okay? It is, for example, in your country, Sungcho Sunim and those previous Sunims, they told you, according to the tradition of Chan, where you have to pick one Dharma door. That's the traditional approach of Chan. I happen to believe that's a wrong interpretation of the Chan teachings. Let me explain to you what the Chan teaching really means. It's not designed to tell you that you should only practice Huatou, you should only practice Pure Land, you should only practice mantras, like many of these teachers tell their followers. It works for them, but it has limitations. That's why they don't get very far. In contrast, I quote my teacher, Chinese teacher, Master YongHua, where he teaches the process of many Dharma doors, because it is still consistent with the Chan instructions, the training. That is, if when you do Chan, the objective is to look and find your real nature, your self-nature. Okay? But realistically speaking, how often can you do that? How often, this is what, for example, I give you a simple example in your country where a lot of people practice Huatou, and they're finding out nowadays that not many people can successfully practice Huatou. Why not? It's because Huatou requires total dedication. When you practice Huatou, you have to drop everything. You have to drop your children. If he swallows a toy, a Lego thing down his throat, you let him die. He said, I don't know you. That's required for you to practice Huatou. Your wife calls in the phone and says, honey, there's garlic in the kitchen. He said, good luck to you. If you don't do that, you will never be able to practice Huatou successfully. And they don't tell you that. So you practice Huatou and for 10 days, okay? And then every day single-mindedly, and then day number 10, the girlfriend calls and says, honey, I miss you. You dead. You just have to start over again. No excuses. Huatou is so demanding, it's totally unforgiving. Okay? So my point being, how often can you practice Chan? There's certain times only where you have time to practice Huatou, practice Vipassana, whatever you want to do, mantras and so forth, because at that time is limited. And that is a very powerful way for you to see your nature, yes, but you can't always do that. Okay? And because the conditions are not there, because you're a whiner, you whine too much, you cannot practice Huatou. Okay? So there are a lot, very tough to be able to practice Chan. Okay? On the other hand, Pure Land is a lot easier because you can recite the Buddha's name on a scattered mind. Okay? You can talk to someone, and you see people, they walk and they talk to you and they roll these beads and they recite Emitofuo and they just talk to you. Oh, how interesting, Emitofuo, you see? So the Pure Land enables you to practice while you are scattered. So there are two different phases there. So my point being that depending on the circumstances, we're teaching you when you have a chance, okay? You have a chance to be single-minded and devote your time to the Chan practice, and then practice Chan, okay? Where you will have to learn to drop everything, drop as much as possible. And when you can't, when you are driving out there, you're at the market, and your skills are not mature yet, you can be reciting the Buddha's name instead of false thinking. Because that's what you do. When you go to buy some groceries, okay, today, okay, then as you go at the market, you're thinking, right? You're thinking about other things. And that's, instead of thinking about other things, you could be reciting the Buddha's name. So that's why it's better for you to have a dual practice. And there's a lot more reasons. And it turns out, for your information, the Pure Land, that Buddha recitation there, my experience has been that you practice Pure Land, you can go much higher than Huatou, than Chan. So don't ever underestimate Pure Land. So we talk to you like at the low level, you can practice Pure Land. Actually, it takes you very far, much further than many Chan practices, including the Huatou. Much faster than Huatou. Okay? Thank you for your questions. That's a long breath I had to talk about. Okay, feel free to ask questions, okay? Okay, so going back to this slide 1043, and let's see, in the last lines there, it says that there are people, practitioners who are fixed nature, sound hearers, their mind is set on becoming an arhat, entering nirvana, or there are those arhats or pratyeka Buddhas who have experienced the peace and bliss of that nirvana, they become arrogant. They said, I'm so special, okay? And therefore they prefer, I'm special, therefore I don't want to mingle with you. You are losers, like I'm nobility, you are servants, we don't mix, that kind of thing. And that's because of that, they get stuck. That's why we in Mahayana prepare you and don't allow you to fall into those traps. Okay? 1044. The ninth rule of the Nirvana in the Bodhisattva chapter clarifies to great length that Ichantikas have cut off the good and are not able to bring forth the mind.
涅槃第九菩萨品中，广明阐提断善，不能发心。
Okay, again, don't worry about the technicalities. Just listen and absorb as much as you can, especially newcomers. And if you have questions, by all means, ask them. I try to relate them for you. It's like Jung there in Go Forest. When he first came, he asked a lot of questions. And he questioned everything. I said, you don't make sense. I disagree with you. Okay? And after, how long has it been now?
Okay. Close to 2 years?
2 years?
Close to 2.
Close to 2 years. My God. Has been that long?
Yes.
He's not the same man anymore. Yeah, for the better, change for the better. So that's why in our environment, please feel free to ask questions to me, to anyone around you. Okay, we're here trying to learn from each other. All right, and share what we know with others. If it helps make life better for someone, we love it. Okay, so he now is quoting the Nirvana Sutra in the 9th row, the Bodhisattva chapter. As it says that explains to great length about this Ichantika, which is one of insufficient faith, meaning that he really, really believes in nothing. In other words, he only believes in himself. Okay? And anyone else, he has no faith. And Master YongHua explained here that actually he has faith, but they cancel each out, the other out. He has some faith, but then the doubts also are the same intensity. Actually, it's not quite that. These Ichantikas, it's not so much you don't have faith. They have faith. They're able to believe. But what happened is that they don't have enough blessings, so that's why when they're supposed to believe, they're to believe the Dharma, to believe the great teachings are good for you, their karmic obstructions come so that they are entrapped. They cannot find the strength or the necessary conditions to believe. Okay, for example, the thing, I'm too sleepy. Master makes me cultivate all day. Now still I'm sleepy. Sit sleeping at night and so forth. Now I'm so tired, and so forth. So it's the karmic obstructions that stop them, but ultimately that they don't believe, and that's the biggest problem you have in life. In the real world, everyone is for himself. Okay? Because you don't take care of yourself, no one else will. However, in cultivation, we can only cultivate because we get help. Because what happens in cultivation is that cultivation, it requires you to overcome your obstructions. In order for you to succeed in cultivation, you need to be able to overcome what's stopping you. Okay, case in point, you get up in the morning, you're sleepy. You have to overcome your sleepiness on Saturday morning over there in Asia to go to the temple. Okay, and then you hop on the car doesn't start. That's another obstruction. And then your mother says, honey, I miss you. Can you come home and see me today? Okay, you have all sorts of obstructions. And those add up. You have so many reasons not to believe in anything. Well, you don't realize that in order to cultivate, let me assure you, the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are quietly propping you up, helping you, keeping away from you the things that you cannot handle. They only let through the things you can handle. That's the only way for you to improve. If the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas do not protect you and prop you up, you would be broken. You would not be able to cultivate. That's a fact. And they do it so that we can cultivate. But unfortunately for you, they do it and you don't know that they're doing it. That's the nature of the health in Buddhism. Okay, so that's what happened to the people who have insufficient blessings. They don't have faith. They don't realize that they're getting so much help. And the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they help, and they don't let you know they're helping. And that's why it's a farce, it's a joke for people who said that how come I don't see anything, I don't see a Buddha, I don't see a Bodhisattva, how can I possibly believe you? So we're helping you, and you're asking us to prove ourselves that we're for real. And next you're going to ask us, can you speed it up for me because it's taking too long? You're supposed to help me, right? And so these people keep on whining about this and whining about that. Okay? And the worst crime, let me tell you, that's why we talk about this word, ichantika, is the worst crime, the worst thing you can do for yourself is not to believe in the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas, because they're helping you so much more than you realize. And that's why the ichantikas, they don't believe even that simple concept where there's such a thing as Buddhas and Bodhisattvas whose only wish is for good things to happen to you. And they can't even believe that. They only say, oh, how is it possible? I need to take care of myself. Isn't that what life is about? No one gives a damn about you except you. It's funny. They would fall in love and they would not do a prenuptial out of love because they believe in their wives, in their fiancé, until they don't believe anymore. But they don't believe in Buddhas and Bodhisattvas who would never hurt them, who will always be there for them forever. And that's why these ichantikas are really, really in big trouble because they don't believe. All right? And so, furthermore, in 1046, this is why in the Nirvana Sutra, Master YongHua says these people have insufficient faith. Yes, they believe. They believe it's called insufficient faith because they believe up to the point where the ego likes it. But faith here is talking about believing in that fundamental principle of goodness. These pure beings, the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, their only purpose in life is to help us, believe it or not. Contrary to your mother and your father and your grandfather and your president, they're out for themselves first. And you believe them more than you believe the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas. Isn't that amazing? And so here, that's why this concept of Ichantikas is really these people who actually are in big trouble. Okay, and it talks. Master YongHua refers to the historical fact where in India, at the time when they transmitted the Mahayana from India to China, and they transmitted only the first part of Nirvana Sutra. And in the first part there, the Nirvana Sutra says, Ichantikas, these people have no Buddha nature. And Master Tao Sheng, at the time Chinese monk, was lecturing. He came up to this Nirvana Sutra, and he says, this section, he says, I disagree. These Ichantikas have the Buddha nature. And so the rest of the Chinese monks and nuns were too happy to hear that. Because Tao Sheng happened to be a great lecturer. And so he's building a reputation for himself. So all the other Chinese masters got jealous, and they said, this guy dares contradict the Buddha's sutras. Therefore, he's a demon. He's a demon retinue. Sounds familiar? I was accused of being a demon retinue too, just for your reference, by my own masters, disciples. But then you say that I can do the same thing to you. You call me demon? No, you're the demon. No, you're the demon. No, you are the demon. If I'm the demon, come and cut my nose off. If you're better than me, come and cut my nose off. Okay? Because I'm a demon, I deserve it. What happened to all your dharmas, all the tools your master gave you? You can't even cut my nose off? Then you're no good. I'd rather be a demon if you can't cut my nose off. And so what happens to these monks and nuns? They have a lot of jealous monks and nuns. It happens, folks. It's reality. That's the Sangha for you. Okay, we have good Sanghas and better Sanghas. Okay, so all the other monks, Chinese monks back then at the time, they all ganged up on this poor Tao Sheng. Another aspect of these poor weaklings, they have to gang up on you. You know that? These poor monks and nuns, when they are not strong enough, they say, can we form a coalition to promote only Kamchatka Buddhism as number one? If you are strong enough, you don't need anyone else to help you make sure your Kamchatka Buddhism is number one. You go and beat up on the demons, beat up on the other monks. Who cares? Okay. Anyway, so another sign of weakling is that they have associations. They gang up on Master Tao Sheng. Okay, it's funny. This happens to Buddhism constantly throughout the history of Buddhism. They ganged up on Master YongHua, by the way, and they, especially the Taiwan people from over there. Okay, they proclaim Master YongHua is a demon. Oh yeah. Or they whisper, don't listen to him, and so forth. Okay, and but in Buddhism, that's a triple jewel, by the way. That's normal. If you have the blessings, you will not believe those things, because you always hear. It's like nowadays the internet. There's always good things and bad things on anything. Okay, including, to my dismay, I always believe in Amazon ratings. Now I realize it's all Chinese raters somewhere in China who never bought the products and give them 5-star rating. Shocking. Okay. Anyway, that's what happens. You have always plus and minuses. Good. Some people say good things about you, and some people say bad things about you, and it's very difficult for us. And the only thing is that if you have blessing, you believe. If you don't have blessing, you won't believe. There's nothing we can do. Okay? It says, don't worry about it. Live your life. Do the right things. That's it. Don't worry. Okay? Things will pan out. Why is that? Because the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are on top of it. Have no fear. Okay? And so Master Tao Sheng, in spite of all the criticism and all the ganging up on him, he says, I'm a monk. I'm supposed to say what is true, what I believe in. Maybe I could be wrong, but this is what I believe in. That's what I'm going to say. That's my job. I'm not here to try to gain your approval. Okay? It's the right thing to do. Okay, so he says, no one wants to come to listen to me anymore. The word spread out. I'm a devil. I'm a demon. I speak against the sutras. Therefore, I'm going to go to somewhere where people don't know me yet. So he went to the mountain. He spoke to rocks because no one else would come listen to him. Okay. And so I don't know if we can believe this, but you can see how desperate this monk here is. Okay, Master Tao Sheng, and he lectured to them, and he lectured to them on this Nirvana Sutra. Think about it, folks. Well, at the time, Master Tao Sheng, when he lectured on sutras, he only had 1/2 of the Nirvana Sutra. The first half transmitted. Now we have so many sutras, Mahayana sutras. Okay, and you see the difference in conditions, and so we are so much better off than before. And now we also have a patriarch like Master YongHua that we can learn from. And so he got to the passage about Ichantikas not having a Buddha nature. He says it's incorrect. We all of us, sentient beings or non-sentient beings, can have the wisdom of all modes, meaning the Buddha's wisdom. So therefore, Ichantikas, even though they don't have faith, they can become Buddhas too. And you agree. And apparently, according to Master YongHua, the rocks nodded their heads. To this day, I still find it hard to believe. I'm an Ichantika after all. I have insufficient faith. And so Master YongHua, to me, kind of funny. I don't know why the Chinese keep on talking about the rocks and nod their head. And then he explained, Master YongHua explained it because it's not that he came back and told others that the rocks nodded their heads at that section, but actually the monks who spied on him, watched him, and actually saw the rocks move or nod their heads, believe it or not. It's a Chinese thing, you know. It's okay. It's not. We can't understand everything. It doesn't matter. Okay. So anyway, that's why they spread the word that actually the Master Tao Sheng, he lectured the Nirvana Sutra, and I saw the rocks nod their heads, these monks. And that's why they then turned around and followed Master Tao Shen, and so forth. All right, and so that's the origin of that anecdote. Okay, and later, I'm at 1054, later the second half of Nirvana was transmitted from India to China. It says, actually, the second half says, actually, Ichantikas have the Buddha nature. Okay, and that's when Master Tao Shen was vindicated, and people started believing him. Okay, and amazingly, back then, Master YongHua says there are a lot of people who believe in him now went to him and prostrated before him. It won't happen nowadays anymore, trust me. Okay, they would be too scared to lose face that they were wrong. Okay, it's different times. And so Master YongHua on 1055 slide number, he says, he confirmed that Ichantikas had the Buddha nature. We become a Buddha, we take them a little bit longer. And then he quoted the 6 Patriarch Sutra. He says, delusion and awakening can be slow or quick. And then the translation from Chinese between the square brackets here is weird. Okay, this is where sometimes you have to be careful. Master YongHua disciples did a great job. Okay, but even here, this is where they falter a little because they don't quite understand what the Chinese Dharma is anymore. Even the Chinese-speaking people. It says, Li, Ben Wu, Tun, Jian. Okay, actually, they translate it as in principle, there's neither sudden or gradual. That's wrong. What it means in Chinese is that the principles or the Buddha's teachings or the Buddha Dharma, Ben is fundamentally is neither sudden nor gradual. That's what it means in Chinese. But you see the difference between this translation, I corrected for you, versus their translation. If you do this, okay, your enlightenment will cap out because it will prevent you from going higher because your foundation is not there. This is so damaging, folks. If you only believe in this, whatever they say here, okay, will limit the wisdom you'll be able to develop. That's how damaging it is. This is why it's so important. When Master YongHua was alive, they paid a lot of attention on certifying the translation. Now it's not the case anymore. Okay, and this is very, very damaging. You don't get it, doesn't matter. Okay, one day you get it. 1056, so in the Bodhisattva chapter, it talks about how Ichantikas have cut off the good roots and don't become Buddhas, are not able to bring forth the Bodhi mind. Okay, 1057. Okay, so it's a long, long story there. Anyone still awake? Okay, I'm warning you, new people. Okay, don't be like Jung. Okay, don't try to understand everything. You see, now Jung is like so lame. He said, okay, whatever. If you say so. Okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, it's not meant for you to understand everything. All we're doing here for this time right now is to plant incredible Vajra seeds of wisdom for you. And just like farming, it takes time before those Vajra seeds will mature. I'm talking about all of you. This is why, even though you sit there and you're sleepy and I'm so tired, we still talk to you, and the sound will help you plant blessings for you. Now we know that, okay? That if you control yourself and don't fall asleep, then your Vajra seeds are a little bit better quality than otherwise. They will mature a little bit faster, okay? By all means, let me warn you, and that's why I spend so much time talking by Chantikas, okay? For this Avatamsaka Sutra, there's no way for you to understand. It's for bodhisattvas, for God's sake. Are you bodhisattvas? I'm not. I just pretend to behave like a bodhisattva. Okay? And so the Buddha, when he lectured on the Avatamsaka Sutra, it's for bodhisattvas, not for us. Okay? However, the patriarchs like Master YongHua decided to lecture on the Avatamsaka Sutra. You know why? Because you are superior. You have superior roots. This will enable you to reach enlightenment a lot faster than otherwise. So it's not something that you're supposed to understand. Okay? Enlightenment, if you're not enlightened yet, and you are not, then it's not something we can explain to you. Okay? You just do what you're told, eventually you get there. Like, Jung, look to your right, to the guy next to you. That guy has been fighting me for about 20 years now. "20 years, let me tell you. I saw him when I first started teaching. Within months, I saw him already. And he says, "You are a fake monk. You're not a real monk." Okay? Only Master YongHua understands the Dharma. I'm bored, so I'm spending time with you. That's it. Don't expect, I expect nothing out of you. And you know, the guy is so full of himself. And after 3 months of taking a Chan class from me, he fought himself every day. Saturday morning, I would drive up from Los Angeles to San Jose and go to a externalist temple. And they would allow us to teach Chan meditation in the backyard. Okay? And he would come, and I would teach him to meditate. And the guy who was fighting me the whole time, he's always checking. Let me see what he said. Is it consistent with what Master YongHua said or his disciples said? So that's why it took him 20 years. And then recently, and I have proof, let me tell you, I have proof of my followers in Go Force. They're right there. Look around you. Those are my witnesses. Just till recently, okay, I started criticizing his president. And he says, my president, mean orange face, not mine, okay, his president, okay, is good to Vietnam people. So I believe him. How dare you criticize orange face? Do you care for Vietnam people or not? My answer is no, I don't care. I only care for good people. If you are Ichantika, I don't care. If you are Vietnam people who are not good, I don't care. You are not Vietnam people or a good person, I care. And he was so upset. He says, what kind of Vietnam people are you? You have no roots anymore. I'm so ashamed to be here, to waste my time with you. So he walked away. And he says, he went home and looked at his wife. He said, can I join your Tibetan school? Something like that. Close. He almost did that. And you know why I played hard to get with him? I push him, I push him corner to the corner where he says, you are not a real Vietnamese monk. I said, you're damn right, I'm no Vietnamese monk. So he walked away. He says, I can't believe it. I could be following you all these years and helping you build Go Forest. I'm sorry I helped you. And then he walked away and he went home and said, what the heck, I'm going to go nowhere. After this temple, where can I go? So the following day, he came back for lunch with his tail between his legs. Because I knew it already. I said, go ahead and leave and see where else can you go. You've been to all my master's temples, all of them. Can you, after spending time at Gold Forest, 3 years at Gold Forest, do you think you can go back to those places? It's going back to a toilet. It's a joke, okay? And sure enough, the following day he came back, showed up having lunch, okay? And with a tail between his legs and sat down and grumbling, saying, I don't like him, he's no real Vietnamese thing. And after a week, he calmed down. He said, that's a story in my life. I hate him, but I need him. You see, for some people, it takes 20 years for them to get the message. Am I wrong, huh? Not true. Tell me it's not true. You don't realize it. Because when I was doing Gold Forest, he's instrumental in helping us to get a license for Gold Forest. Now we are legit in Gold Forest. I was very gentle towards him. But once I'm done with him, when we got the permit, we got everything, we got a very strong following there, I said, you can leave anytime you feel like. Master can be two-faced. Go ahead, you. Explain yourself.
Yeah, I don't know what Master talking about. I forget.
He doesn't know. Yes, he has Alzheimer's now. Not true. It's funny, when he's angry, the face is so red. And he broods. He just sits there, he ate lunch, and I don't like him. I don't know, why am I doing here? But where else can I go? I go home, my wife harasses me. Anyway, and it's funny thing. He didn't know that. When I first came up to Gold Forest, let me tell you, since we're here, let me tell you the whole give you more details. He said, because the attitude is like, okay, I like him, I'm helping a temple, it's a good thing to plant blessings. But, this guy, I'm not sure. Okay. But, so I did with that kind of attitude, I sent him into a Korean temple. I said, you go to that Korean temple, Sambosa, in Carmel by the sea. Carmel in the valley, something like that. It's about 2-hour drive from Gold Forest. Yeah? 2-3 hour drive, okay? He drove there, and that monk there was a 4th stage Arhat, okay? So at the time, Jung was about not even 1A. So Jung was very impressed. Jung was about 6 or something like that. This is about 3 years ago. Okay, so 3-4 years ago. So I said, you should go there and practice with him. He can help you. So they would drive. They could bring a group of people together, okay, and they would drive to that Sambosa on Friday night, and they would sit and meditate with him until what? What time? They still do that, by the way.
Yeah. Until 3 in the morning. No?
Until 3 in the morning. And the guy, that monk, the Korean monk, cannot speak English, but he just sat with you, and you sit with him, you get a lot of benefits. So these people felt so peaceful, felt good about it, okay? And then, so they did it for a while, okay? And then when the time was right, I sent Chun, my disciple, to Sambosa. I said, you should go pay him a visit. At that time, Chun was 3A. So Chun came back and reported to me. I said, so how was your trip to Sambosa? How did you like it? She says, I showed up as you told me to. He looked at me and he ignored me the whole time. He totally ignored me. So that shows to prove to you, Deman Sunim is a very good monk. He's there to help people. When he realized he cannot help June, okay, he ignored her and said, you do whatever you do, I can't help you. But he helped Jung, he helped a lot of people. Okay? This is what good monks do. They help people regardless. Okay? And now, as 2 years ago, I checked on Jung, that's it, before I pressed him on his president, orange face. So I said, what happened to Sambosa? You plan to go to Sambosa anymore? He says, nah, I get nothing out of it. You see, my point is that this guy here, he thinks that he's helping us. He said, I help you with, construction, engineering, painting. I suffer for you and you abuse me and so forth. Without me, there's no permit for you. But, yeah, right, thank you. That's why we put up with you. You didn't help us. You'd be gone already, son. All right? Anyway, my point is that lots of things are being done for you, and you're just like a throw tantrums like a big baby. I don't like you. You're so mean. You're not Vietnam. Oh well, that's life in a big city for you. I have 4 more minutes. Anyone has any more stories or complaints to talk about? Yes. Marvin.
Emitofuo, Master. When they talk about like the sudden teaching or the YongHua, and it feels exciting because you think that's like it's better than gradual. And then the previous slide said you fixed the translation to principles are neither sudden nor gradual. And so how do we have like Dharma pride for Wayang, and then but also not feel greedy to achieve something quickly?
You're thinking too much as usual. You think too much, okay? You're trying to understand too much. Wow, he's in full lotus nowadays? Seriously? Let go of the arm, the hand. Very good. You see? Very good. Yeah, you do whatever it takes. Okay? If you need to hold your hand, some of my disciples, they take a belt and they tie it up so that they can't even unbuckle. You know how difficult? You guys don't realize how difficult, how big his thighs are? My calves are 32 centimeters, I just found out tonight. And my disciples said, wow, that big? I said, you just have to wait until you see Marvin's. He says, it's 3 times bigger than mine. It's very hard to cross into full lotus. And you have to give him credit for trying so hard all this time. It's very difficult, very painful. Yeah? And you see the gentleman who asked a question earlier, why do you do in full lotus? Okay, ask him, why do you torture yourself to do that? Does it help at all? You see any benefits? Besides the nonsense?
Yeah.
Tell him.
The answer is that this is a practice. There's no words that get you. You can talk and talk and talk about how much you understand or how the principles will help you in life, but this is the way to test yourself, to see if you can actually apply the principle. And every time I like unbuckle, it means that I don't truly believe what I want to believe. And every time that I keep myself in sitting, then I'm like living the life I want to live.
See, so many words. Okay. So the simple conclusion is that if you believe in the instructions, you get a lot of benefits. You don't believe in the instructions, it's only because you don't have enough blessings. That's all. So that's why this is our limitation. You have the blessing, you believe. You don't have the blessings, not much we can do. So, see, Marvin has struggled a lot because it's 50-50 with him. He's like Ichantika. Okay? And so the question is, when you struggle so much, build more blessings. That's the one lesson I want to share with you tonight. If you struggle, it's a good thing for you. And if you feel compelled to quit, it's because your blessings are running out. Add more blessings. That's all. Okay? So Marvin has been adding blessings, and you see, at first, he would come, and I noticed, last year, for example, he would come and cross his legs in half lotus, and he would, breathe, do heavy breathing, and in pain, in pain. But now look at him, serene and not himself, not his true self. Okay, everyone, thank you for coming, and that's we stop here tonight.